I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you.
Hi there, this is Stephanie Bell, the Spirit Coach, with your Divine Spirit message this week. The message this week is going to be a couple of seconds longer, well, frankly, probably a good couple of minutes longer, because it's on forgiveness. And I chose the subject this week because I discovered I needed to deal with it this week, and thought you might appreciate sharing that, because it is a time of year where a lot of issues come up for us, especially when dealing with families at holiday times and the stresses that are involved during the holidays. Although, of course, it can come up at any time of year and in any situation. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try to keep the story as brief as possible about what happened that brought it to my attention today. And we're talking here about forgiving yourself primarily, because really you're the only one that needs forgiving. As far as my belief system goes, I create everything in my life one way or another through my vibration. That's my personal take on things, and I therefore am the only one responsible for clearing it up. And usually when something's going on, then it's me that needs forgiving, because I created the situation. I'm causing my own pain, and therefore it's just back on me, which is kind of a cool thing, because I'm in total control of me, and I certainly can't control another human being. So here's the situation, as briefly as possible. We have a rental property that we own here in Las Vegas. We had tenants in it for 5 years. They abandoned the property last April. We didn't know about it for nearly a month. Because they'd been in it so long, there was a lot of work that needed to be done on the house, and we did that over the summer. We had a contractor that we've used before, but I really shouldn't have used him again, and I knew better, but I did that anyway. So that kind of took a long time, and I was kind of stressed out about it, and I really wanted to create great new tenants, and I was focusing on great new tenants, and I attracted what I thought were great new tenants, but because what was underlying going on within my system, and because of the stresses about how I was feeling about the property that I wasn't actually owning, I wasn't taking responsibility for the feelings, which I can now look back and see, but I didn't see at the time. The tenant that I attracted and that I decided to go with has not been as responsible as I would have liked. They have not been as financially responsible primarily, and they certainly haven't been looking after the property as well as I would have liked either. So I was already beginning to figure that I might have to evict these people, but I didn't really want to have to go through the eviction process. On the other hand, I had learned my lesson prior, and I knew that I couldn't just let it slide. So here's where the universe steps in on one's intention. And 2 weeks ago, I got a call from the tenants about the water heater, which was busted, and it was leaking water all over the house. The short story on that is, by the time they could get it turned off, the house was pretty much flooded out with over 1 inch of water. The good news is everybody was safe. That was great. The other good news is that I'm fully insured, so that was great. And our insurance company has come through big time. The insurance adjuster is a wonderful insurance adjuster. And the night that I got notified about the water heater, I did start to get in a bit of fear and panic. But I was very fortunate that I practiced what I preach, and I recognized what I was doing, and I said, no, I am going to create a great situation out of this. I don't know how and I don't know why, but somehow I know this is going to be a miracle. And I'm just going to say that and keep saying that to contractors, insurance adjusters, and everyone that comes through, including myself. And I'm just going to assume that this is going to resolve itself quickly, easily, cost effectively for the highest good of all concerned, including my tenants. So as the repairs started to begin, they had to do a bunch of stuff on the property to get it ready because of the water damage, just drying it out. And then because of the age of the property, they had to do an asbestos test, and I found out a day or two ago that it is hot for asbestos, which means there's a whole new series of things that they have to deal with in order to, take care of that properly, which included getting the tenant's property completely out of the property. I mean, all their personal property, the furniture, the clothes, and everything needs to get out of the property. Needless to say, my tenant is not very happy. They've not been able to reside in the property for a couple of weeks, and we've compensated them accordingly. And I wanted to work out an arrangement with them where I returned all their rent for this month so that they had money to go find someplace else and, release them from the lease, which would solve some other issues that I was having. And I was also going to offer them some money to help them physically with the move, renting a truck and stuff. So I had a conversation with my tenant yesterday, and she was not a happy camper. And after the conversation, I wasn't a happy camper. And while I felt that I handled the conversation very well, I still was quite kind of pissed off at my tenant. And this morning, I did my normal swim, which is also a meditation for me, and it became abundantly clear to me that the issue here was about forgiveness. And the issue isn't about forgiving my tenant, it's about forgiving me. Because I created the situation. I'm 100% responsible for everything that shows up in my life because that's what I put out there. I've put it out there whether I've been conscious about it or I've put it out there whether I've been unconscious about it. But whatever's here, I created and I take responsibility for. And when I was swimming, I could have done I could have had a V8 while I was swimming because I suddenly got it. Surely it's not about the tenant. It's not about all that. It's all about me. And that was a huge relief to me. And I knew then that everything was just going to be fine. I still don't know exactly how, but I know how much better I feel about the situation. Even though I was declaring it a miracle all week, I was having kind of low-level anxiety because of having to deal with the tenant, and I just knew that, I wasn't feeling as clear and as clean and as peaceful about it as I would like to. And I can honestly tell you while I'm making this video that I feel 100% better. So I just wanted to share one little technique that I used in coming up with this. And that's a technique called HoOPonoPono. You may be hearing the chant in the background of this video, which I sung, and it's the chant of the 4 sentences that are used in this Hawaiian forgiving process called HoOPonoPono. And you can read more about that on my blog at growyourdivinespirit.com, or you can also look it up and find out more. Okay, so I'm going to move along. And the 4 phrases are, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And if you just keep repeating those phrases until you kind of feel done, or you can just use them like I do, kind of as a chant, a mantra. I just say them instead of letting my mind spin out about, the tenant and the property and the asbestos and what have you. I just keep repeating those 4 phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And when you do, you feel the peace returning to you. You know the joy is back in your heart, and all is well. Stephanie Bell, the Spirit Coach, saying bye for now. Blessings.
I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, Please forgive me. Thank you.